ecstatic to hear a story like in depth, you know, because I know I prayed for years. I prayed for years to be 21 years old and not become a statistic, right? And after hearing just a little bit of this man's story, this young man's story, you know, I cannot wait to hear the rest of it. So I need y'all to put your hands together, you know, and clap and just get as loud as you can get and put your ears on right now, because the topic that he's going to be talking about is something that can happen to anybody in this room. Like, listen to me. It's something that can happen to anybody in this room in the blink of an eye. Your life can shift, your life can change, and you won't know which way is up. So please put your hands together for Mr. Corey, y'all. Hey man, appreciate you coming out.
I appreciate you. How y'all doing today? Good. Well, I want to say it's an honor and privilege to be here today, and I thank y'all for this wonderful opportunity, and also I thank you guys for being here today, for giving me the opportunity to give y'all a little bit of story, give you some understanding on me and certain things that have happened in my life that put me where I'm at today. As you can see right here, I don't know if you can see that good, but I have like a PowerPoint, okay? And it's entitled My Life. And on the front of it, it's me and my wife. That's my wonderful wife, Khalil, back there. So I can say hi to my wife. Hi. And this is right here. This is my life, and I want to show y'all, take y'all through some steps, so that y'all understand a few things on how life can shift, as the brother just said a minute ago. Well, right now, as we go through this is my family right here. These are my children. My son Zion is the middle boy. My youngest boy is Tony. My oldest boy is Ty, and the yellow back there is me, and that's my daughter, Promise. And they're married from the ages of 19 to 2 years old. So you may be sitting there wondering, like, okay, that's typical. What's, you know, I hear that all the time. People got a little basic family, stuff like that. Yeah, a little basic, but at the same time, it's leading somewhere. I'm from Flint, Michigan. How many of y'all heard of Flint, Michigan? What goes on in Flint, Michigan right now? What's the biggest thing going on? The war. We lived it, and we got up out of here because we had just had a daughter, and it was time to go. They weren't doing nothing about it. We had to go, but that's my roots. That is where I come from. Born and raised. I've only been in Atlanta almost 2 years. Other than that, I lived in Flint my whole life. So as you can see, got the water right there, but it got some nice shots, and it's considered vehicle safe. I got a paralegal degree. Like, I got some form of education. You know, I've had that paralegal degree since 2008. And I would like to say that I earned it, because I paid for it, but also I paid for it more than one way. But I do have it. Pretty basic, right? Nothing standard, nothing typical about it, is it? Yeah, nothing pretty much. Go ahead. A paralegal degree is the person who does all the work for an attorney, and an attorney takes the credit for it. You know, real talk. An attorney in court talking about different things, 9 times out of 10, he had a paralegal to research him, everything that he needed to know to go argue before a court. So that's a paralegal. And that's what I'm certified in doing. I own a nice little car. This is my baby. It's a little older, but it was my baby. I loved it to death because it was my personality. You know, I fixed it up and pretty basic. We see this stuff around time, don't we? Little truck with rims and music and stuff like that. And what you say is basic? Nothing hyped about it really is. Well, you know, I do own a Mercedes. It's down right now, but I mean, it's mine. You know, I do own one. We see them all the time, correct? You see Mercedes all the time. Nothing special about them. Well, I've been in Miami. Did I hype y'all up a little bit? You know, me and my wife went to Miami. You hear about people going out of town, correct? Standard. Nothing new about it, nothing amazing unless you go. It is nice. But I'm showing y'all something, I'm showing y'all a pattern, because at one point in time, this wasn't my life. By far. It looks okay now, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people would love to enjoy it, but this wasn't my life. This was my life at one point in time right here. Multiple stages of my life. At one point in time, I was in prison doing life without parole. Yeah. It's me in my prison clothes. At different ages. I think in my mid-20s to in my 30s. Can y'all see that? Like I said, everything that I just showed y'all, this was before it. Because of certain decisions that I had made in my life. This is me right here being carried out the courtroom when the jury found me guilty. They found me guilty on 5 counts. 2 counts of first-degree felony murder, 2 counts of felony fire, and 1 count of armed robbery. That's my reaction because I didn't do anything wrong. And when they said guilty, I wigged all the way out. Wigged all the way out. I was 17 years old on this picture. In September, I'll be 40 now. Here's another shot. This is me doing an interview in prison at 18, doing life without parole. Hope that's settling a little bit because I'm about to explain some things to you. This is me. I look real young. I probably look the same a little bit now. But the thing about that, I was 18 years old doing life without parole. Hadn't even made it, as the brother said, to 21. Didn't even get a shot at it. I got locked up at 17. I didn't get out till I was 35. And I showed y'all this PowerPoint because we can understand things when we get a visual to them. You know, that's why movies have more effect, in my opinion, than music does, because you get a visual how to do things. And the thing about this whole situation here is that I went with a friend. One night, June 21st, 1995, never forget it. A friend of mine asked me, why don't you take a ride with me somewhere? I'm like, okay, cool. It was a homeboy I grew up in the hood with. Knew everything about him. Knew his mother, knew his brothers. You know, he had a little child at the time, knew his child. So it was nothing typical. I wasn't thinking nothing crazy. He said, why don't you take a ride with me? I got to go make a drug store. I'm like, okay, cool. I've done it more than once. In fact, I was selling drugs. I was a former gangbanger. So this was pretty much standard. It wasn't nothing new about it. The only thing about it was the people that he was going to meet, I had never met in my life before. But you know, I wasn't thinking nothing about it. Because we normally, when we hang with our homeboys and say go somewhere with us, we don't be thinking nothing crazy, am I correct? So we go out here, a city called Grand Flint, just right outside of Flint. Like pretty much like I live in Decatur now, it's almost like where we are now, type of just next city over. We go out there, there's a third person with us too. The first time we got out there was a ride. This person I consider my godfather. He the one gave us a ride out there. He stayed in the car when we actually got to the place. My homeboy asked me to come in, I went in. So we went inside, there's normal drug transaction going on. But it's taking longer than usual because I was in the street, so I had sold drugs on all the go. It's taking longer than usual. So I tapped my homeboy on the shoulder. I'm like, okay, man, what's going on? What are we doing? This honest guy, he looked at me, I was standing behind him. He looked back at them, two people. He looked back at me, came out with a gun and said, get on the ground. They was like, no, I'm not getting on the ground. Boom, first shot go off. Boom, 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 boom. Total 5. There's 2 dead bodies on the floor now. When I realized what happened, I take off, run outside the house. Run outside the house, the driver who gave us the ride had left us. Was gone. I left my homeboy back at the scene. So, the whole time I'm at home, I'm thinking this is, wow, what's going to happen, my thinking was I didn't do nothing. I didn't have nothing to do with this, so I'm okay. Not thinking that the driver, which is like I say, consider him a godfather, went to the police 5 days later and told the police that he had took me and my co-defendant to this house, and that's, he was a witness to the murders. So by this time I went to Chicago, the police looking for me. I hired an attorney, came back to Flint. By the time this happened on June 21st, this is June 26th. I turned myself in to the police with my attorney. I didn't get out till October 2nd of 2012. They charged me not for doing the crime, but said that I had knowledge that a robbery that was going to happen that occurred to a murder, and gave me the same exact amount of time that they did the person that did it. See, we don't know nothing about these type of laws and stuff, but they in place, they do exist. Whether you feel like you did anything wrong or not, you can get the same amount of time as the person who actually does commit the crime. And then the crazy part about that, when I went to trial, is that we had separate jurors, so he could have got found not guilty, I could have got found guilty, and been stuck in prison. And I'm telling you, in 2003, I was fortunate enough to win an appeal. I had a team of lawyers that worked for free, that fought on my behalf, and got me out of there. And I'm fortunate to be here before you because I'm not supposed to be here. I've been shot. The gangbanger shot both my legs and my left hand in broad daylight. I've been jumped, and I've done a lot of that crazy stuff on the end too. And what I want to share with you young brothers today is this here. One of the best investments that you could ever make in your life and it's going to give you great residuals. You know what residuals are? Anybody? Anybody know what residuals are? Like an outcome. You know, but it's consistent over and over again. And this investment that I want y'all to start investing in today, and this investment that I'm talking about, is proper decision making. If you learn to make proper decisions about your life, it will have some of the best outcomes that you can possibly imagine in your life right now. But the thing about it, this is an investment that you have to make continuously over and over and over again. Every day that you wake up, you have to make a proper decision. And by the time you go to sleep at night, you have to make a proper decision. But I guarantee you, if you learn to make the proper decisions in your life will turn out the way that you want it to be. Who would like to be a millionaire here? Yeah. Only way that you're going to get there is you learn to make proper decisions. I mean, one thing you got to watch out, you have to watch out for people that you associate with. You have to learn to become a learner of people, because if not, you be put in a bad situation to where you don't know how you got there, and it's going to take a second to get into it and a lifetime to get out. I mean, I'm still trying to recover from it, almost at 40. I mean, every time they run my name, they do see a felony on it. They don't care about whether I did it or not or had anything involved in it. No, you got a felony. So it limits me as to certain things that I can and cannot do when it comes in this society, when it comes to employment, housing, a lot of different things. But however, I'm managing to maneuver through that because my whole goal is to turn my felony into finance. Since they want to use it against me, I'm going to use it for me. That's my whole plan. That's what I'm working to do. Because at the same time, I cannot allow them or this system to keep me down. I don't want to get too much spiritual in it, but I have to talk this talk because I got a connection with the greater. This is why I'm here today. I mean, it's just that honest. In the Bible, Jesus says, what goes into a man's mouth doesn't defile him, but what comes out. Y'all familiar with that a little bit? I'm not going to put a twist on it, but I'm going to tell you what it means to me. Jesus says in the Bible, what comes out of a man's mouth doesn't defile him. Excuse me, what goes into a man's mouth doesn't defile him, but what comes out. Excuse me. And I'm going to tell you what that means to me, right? Now, we know that cursing and stuff is bad like that. You know, like speaking not the proper language is bad. It's not good at all. But what that means to me when I look at that, what Jesus is talking about, because Jesus had a very deeper meaning than the average stuff that he said. I'm a firm believer that what Jesus is trying to say, this is my opinion, take it or leave it alone, is that the situations that you come into in life doesn't defile you, but how you respond to them does. Because we all going to run into some situations in life. I don't care how good you're doing. If something's going to come up that is going to challenge you as to how you are to develop your character as a person when dealing with this situation, but how you respond to it is going to show how firm you are as a person. Like I said, we all going to have some kind of situation, whether it's going to be financial. Trust me, y'all know right now, a girl going to break your heart. She going to get you. It's just that simple. But it's how you bounce back from it and what you learn from it. You know, you're going to have situations with mom and pops. You're going to have situations with brothers and sisters. School. But it's all how you respond to it. Respond to that situation, which is going to determine if you deteriorate or not. Does that make any sense? Huh? You know, because I'm just trying to give y'all some life lessons that I went through. Like, I dropped out of school early. I got shot, and that's why I didn't go to school no more. And at this time, we had metal detectors. So why did I drop out? Because I'm thinking somebody will come in and shoot me. But we had metal detectors. But as you can see now, I ended up getting my GED. This all while I was incarcerated. And I got that paralegal degree while I was incarcerated. You know, so you can take, what's that saying? You can make lemonade, lemons out of lemonade, regardless of the situation. But I wanted to share with you, young brothers, that y'all don't have to go through that. Y'all don't. Take these life lessons that we have right now, that I'm giving you, and learn from them. Take what I went through and be like, you know what, I don't want to do that. Yeah, I would like to head where he's going, but I don't want to have to go through that whole experience because it isn't nothing fun at all. Prison is not fun. There's nothing slick about it. I don't care who come and tell you, man, prison ain't nothing. He alive. It may not be nothing physically, but psychologically and emotionally it is. It's challenging. I mean, to wake up in a 5x12, you imagine that? I'm going to give you a visual. The average cell in prison like the size of your bathroom. And you sharing it with somebody. Can you imagine doing that over and over and over again? People telling you what time you can eat, when you can use the shower, when you can go to the yard, when you can talk to your family, your parents and family members on the telephone. Over, and I did that for over 17 years. Somebody telling me that what I can and cannot do. And try to challenge it if you want to. Y'all think they bad out here on the streets now when they what they doing to the police officers. No, in prison they got a total right, because one is not being recorded, and two, they just that connected with each other. So if you challenge them authorities, oh, they gonna put you on your back. So when you see those movies or people take that little side stuff, don't believe it. I'm a firm believer, if you go to prison, you're a loser. You just did. You go to jail or prison, you're a loser. Especially when you know you can consciously think to avoid that situation. Even in my situation, I was a loser because I lived that lifestyle. It warranted me going. I was going to go sooner or later. I didn't want to go for that, but I knew I was going to end up going because I didn't want to live up to my potential that I knew that I had. I mean, I come from a two-parent household. My mother worked for General Motors. We weren't broke. I mean, every Christmas we had everything. Growing up, I had everything. I wore, in 6th grade, I had a herringbone. I don't know if y'all old enough remember herringbones, but in 6th grade, I had one. I wore silk shirts with valleys, all because my mother and father bought it. But I chose to go outside of their authority and live in the streets and did something I never had to do. I didn't have to sell drugs. Why did I do it? Because people in the neighborhood were doing it. You know, I didn't have to skip school. Why did I do it? Because everybody that I knew was doing it. You know, I didn't have to do none of that. I had it made. I mean, General Motors back at that time, my mother was bringing in over $30 an hour with full benefits. But yet, I want to be a thug. You know, I want to be hard. I want to be something that I'm not. And now that I'm almost 40 years old, I look back and I be like, man, if I could turn around and kick myself in the butt, I would. Because I had all the luxury. Even when I was playing basketball growing up, I was looking to stand my mother and pops right there. And I went to school with some people that's famous. They ended up playing. I don't know if y'all know who Team Cleaves is. One of my guys. Robert Smith, my guy. Even the rapper John Connor, I don't know if y'all know who he is, but he up and coming. These are my guys, people that I know, grew up with. While they went on to have careers, I went on with the prison. You know, at the very least, I could have went in the world of business. Maybe I was too small to play ball or whatever, you know. I did like doing it, but I could have went in business while they could have went on with their career, and we could still been tight to this day like we are. But at the same time, I messed up a lot of opportunities because I wasn't making proper decisions. And especially when I had the guidance to do otherwise. And like I said, I told you a story, I had a godfather. So I had these male influences in my life. I just chose to live outside of it because that looked appealing. Nothing about these streets is appealing. You may see, you know, the rims and people looking like they're doing good. At the same time, they live in hell. Anytime you gotta sell drugs, you gotta worry about the person coming to rob you or the police coming to get you. I mean, you can imagine living like that every day. Does that sound like fun? No, it don't. If you out there gang banging, you never know. You might go to the gas station and dude that you beefing with up there. Or they see you go up there and you don't see them. Now you're in a situation where you might lose your life. So don't be influenced by this kind of stuff. Stay on the outside looking in, outside looking in because you don't want to get caught up in it. And I try to tell you, I'm so hard on my boys. I tell my boys all the time at my house, hey, I'm a dictator. No, it's a dictatorship. Only person that got say so is my wife. She don't even want to overturn anything I say. Other than that, it's a dictatorship because I try to explain to them, you will understand my discipline when you're older. You may not get it right now, but when you're older, you'll be like, you know what, thanks, boss, I appreciate that. Even with my 2-year-old little girl, I'll be on her a little bit because I don't want them to go through what I do. You know? Because it's not fun. But now that I'm home, first time I went to a basketball game was when I got out of prison. First time I went to a professional football game was when I got out of prison. First time I did anything that of any significance is when I got out of prison. And I'm to a point now, I just love it. I want to live it. Because I missed so much during my time. Can you imagine getting locked up at 17 years all your 20s? Not spending 123 and then half your 30s. You can't even fathom that, can you? That don't even make sense. I mean, how old are you? 15. So in 2 more years, imagine you going to prison, then you get out to 35. You can't even see that. I don't even grasp that. Don't make sense. Do it. Keep it that way. Always let it not make sense. Keep it that way. How old are you? 15. Who's the oldest here? Who older than 15? Nobody? So 15, huh?
That's the oldest.
That's the oldest. I'm going to tell you something real quick. For you guys, it's 15. Possibly going on 16, correct? Anybody going on 16? Nobody? Well, right now, even at 15, you know at 15 years old, right? they can place you in Suffolk County Jail if you commit a heinous crime. Did y'all know that? You're gonna skip juvie. They can put you inside a county jail and have you housed in there separate from everybody else. So, but these are a lot of things we don't know nothing about because it's not taught to us. They don't tell us about the different pitfalls that we can run into, if we out here clowning these streets. So you got to be conscious of that. How many of y'all like sports? Everybody. That's what y'all trying to achieve? Stay at it. Don't never let nobody tell you what you can and cannot do. If that's something that you want to do, work hard at it. Work hard to get up every day. What is it, basketball? Football? Sleep with that ball. Real talk, sleep with it. Because when you go to sleep and you wake up, that's the only thing on your mind. And if you continually do that, you're going to work hard at it. What about you, basketball? Sleep with that ball. Like right now, when I left, my middle boy was out there dribbling. That's all he do with that ball all day long. Because if this is something that you want to do, you got to work passionate about it and you got to achieve it. Because ain't nobody going to give you nothing. Nobody's going to hand anything out to you. Does that make sense? Let me ask you a question. Y'all got any questions? I'm going to ask some questions. If y'all can bounce respond. Go ahead.
How was your first day in prison?
Say it one more time.
How was your first day in prison?
My first day in prison, man, I cried like a baby. I ain't let nobody see it. Because you got to go to prison with a certain sign. But I actually cried all day. Because I knew that I was finally here. Everything that I had seen about it was reality. And I was doing life without parole. They told me to die in prison. I mean, they gave me 3 life without parole. They pretty much told me to go to prison, die, come back to life again, serve this other one, die, come back to life, serve this other one, die, and then, oh yeah, you still got 2 years for the good one. So, I mean, that was all rushing through my head. I mean, when I went to prison, I was 18. And I was just thinking about, a lot of stuff that I didn't experience. They trying to tell me to die in prison. That at 17, I was just such a heinous person, that I was that bad that I wasn't worthy of getting out. That was all in my head. Because when I first went, I never forget this place called the Michigan Reformatory. Okay? Michigan Reformatory in Michigan, it was the oldest prison that was built. Michigan has 52 prisons. Yeah. Michigan went from a car industrial state to a prison state. Because when General Motors left, or during the decline of General Motors, they started building prisons. Like Michigan has the most prisons than any other state right now. I mean, 52. Can you think of that? 52 prisons. So they got plenty of beds for people. So there's one prison I went to called the Michigan Reformatory. It was the oldest prison. And the crazy part about this, I remember going there when I was younger visiting my uncle back in the 80s. So when I went there, I could just see it all over again. I think I was probably like 10, somewhere around when I first, if not younger, when I went to see him with my mother. And then now I'm 17, and I can see this place all over again. I mean, it had the bars, it had the barbed wire, the people walking with the guns on the gun tower. And the thing about it, 96% of the population was 26 and under. And in the people there, you either had life or you had some big number, 50 to 90 or something like that. So you take all these young boys and put them in this prison. Can you imagine what it was like? It was crazy. I remember I was showing my wife the other day, my wife and kids. I still got a lot of that paper and stuff like that, but it was one day back in June, I believe it was June of 97, to where it was the biggest, bloodiest day I've ever seen in my life. Guards was getting stabbed, inmates was getting stabbed, and they locked us down. They had us locked down for like a week, to where you couldn't even go to the shower and stuff like that, But this was the reality that I was living. This is why I cried that first day, because I was here. I couldn't believe it that I threw my life away like this. So yeah, I mean, you have to understand that this is reality. And chances are you're gonna have options in your path to put you there. But it's how you get around it. It's how you maneuver around it. It's how you not get caught up in it. Because it's easy to go to jail. It is. It's real easy. It's so easy, especially when I talk like I talk for a black man in America. It's easy. I mean, it's not hard at all. You don't have to put a lot of work into it, no brain power. All you gotta do is the first little small thing and you in there. That's just like recently Jay-Z, I think it's Father's Day, Jay-Z bailed out a lot of people, a lot of fathers for Father's Day. Because chances are once you go to jail, they make a bond. It could be something silly, shoplifting. And give you a $10,000 bail. Like, you gonna give me a $10,000 bail for shoplifting? I know it was wrong, but seriously? So now you sitting in jail for 6-7 months and can't even get out because chances are our people ain't got no 10,000 to put up. They just don't. Everybody, when I was going through my process, people had to put up their houses. They just had no 10,000 sitting around. I mean, it's our system. It's designed to keep us in that particular place. But yet we in a position right now, we got enough information out here so we can get around it. We don't have to keep going for it. We don't. Y'all are right now leaders. Y'all need to develop so they be leaders in the future. Because that's y'all potential, that's y'all purpose. Y'all have to lead this next generation. You can see how crazy this one is now. I ain't never known drug dealers to sell drugs just to buy drugs, to get high with. I mean, the society went crazy. When I came up, when I was growing up in the 80s, drug dealers sold drugs, got up out of it, and started a business. Now you got drug dealers selling drugs so they can buy Xannies, lean, and all this other crazy stuff. I mean, think about that. You're a drug dealer just to get high. I mean, this is a sad reality we live in. And you would have thought that with President Obama becoming president, our generation would have been inspired a little bit more. This is what I hope for. I was one of those ones that I didn't think he was going to really do a lot because of the system against him, but I felt he was going to inspire black men to achieve what they could achieve in their life. And which I still believe that hope. I'm real optimistic. I'm not a pessimistic person. When I see the glass, it's half full. It's never half empty to me. It's like I believe in y'all, like I believe in my own boys. Even when they do something silly, I still got this belief that, oh, they're going to turn out great. It's the same way I believe in y'all. But you got to believe this for yourself. Because if you don't believe it within yourself, you're going to turn out to be that what you are. It's this book I read called How to Think Like a Millionaire. And the best quote I love about this book, it was real simple. When I first read the book, I'm like, okay, yeah, this book going to teach me how to get these millions, yada, yada, yada. It don't do that. It teaches you how to develop a millionaire mindset. And the quote in there that stick out to me still to this day, this book I read it probably about 15 years ago. But in the book, the author says, if you believe that you can or you can't, you're right. Whichever one you choose. If you believe you can do it, you're right. If you believe that you can't, you're still right. Because a lot of us have these self-defeating patterns that we do develop that thinking, that we can't do something. And I want to tell you, don't develop that thinking. That's a loser's mentality. We winners, right?
Yes.
We winners, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we can't develop a loser mentality. There's so much of that going on right now. You can just go down County Road. You can go anywhere in our communities. Everybody has a losing mentality. Especially when they settle for less. You know, people love to settle because they don't like the challenge of life. They don't like to get up every morning and grind. Like I get up just about every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I don't care what time I go to bed. I get on this computer, I work on my website, I get my business cards together. I mean, I try to do something productive throughout that day so that I know that I'm fulfilling my purpose. Even though a chunk of my life is missing, however, I'm grateful for that, in a sense, grateful for the opportunity because I'm still alive today. In the Bible, God says, and like I said, I don't mean to keep getting spiritual, it's just a lot of punching that makes sense to me. You know, He said that He is a God of the living, not the dead. We woke up today, so that means we got a connection with the Creator right now. And when you're in the ground, He has no purpose for you. He has none. So every day that you wake up, understand that, you know, you got this connection with God. And He has a purpose for you. Because trust me, somebody didn't wake up today. More than one person. And chances are somebody's not going to wake up tomorrow. You know, of course you got natural causes and stuff like that happens. I mean, you can't control that. However, things that you can control, you know, like not going to the store at 3 in the morning. Why? Why do we need to do that? Some people do it. You know, why? Why do we need to stay up to 4? There's nothing, I'm a firm believer, there's nothing out there, the police and a robbery and a murder. That's the only things out 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. But you have to, you know, work and be determined to be that what you want to become. You can do it. I'm a believer in you. Everybody in this room a firm believer in you. This is why we all here today. I mean, I told myself, even if my boss told me I had to work today, he was going to hear me coughing. Because I was coming here to speak to y'all so that I can show y'all my story because I believe it's imperative that if you see somebody go through something, then you know how to get around it. Because I never want y'all to end up like I did. Because for some of y'all, you won't be that fortunate as I did to win that appeal. I mean, my co-defendant is still locked up. This is what, 21, 22 years later? He's still in prison. And I've been out almost the past 5. So it don't work for everybody. So I just want to let y'all know, if y'all have any questions for me, ask them, because I got some information I can share with y'all young brothers, man. I mean, I'm here because out of love. I mean, I could have stayed in bed. Have my wife cook me something, hey, nice and chill. But I came here because I felt like it's part of my purpose to come here. Like when I reached out, I seen it on Instagram. I'm like, what's this here? Called. Met up, I think it was second day or something like that. Awesome.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be a part of this because I feel like I got a story that y'all can benefit from. Just like I can benefit from your energy. Real talk, I'm not too old to be taught by y'all. I'm not. I guarantee you put some kind of phone or something in my face, you can break it down to me. I mean, I'm lost. I remember the first day I came, my wife gave me a phone. Keep in mind, 17 to 35, we didn't have no phones. If we did, he was a doctor with that big flip with the battery pack on the back of it. She gave me a phone, man. It took me almost 2 weeks to learn how to just make a call, man. But I ended up learning it, and that's what I said, y'all can teach me a lot of that. Like, right now I like playing the little the Xbox One. I got Xbox One. And I get stuck on certain processes. I can call my boys, man, help me through this, man. They keep killing me. The point is, I can learn from y'all. They do. They be playing these little shooting games. I be in the corner, like, just stuck. Just getting killed, man.
Shooting you back.
So I stick to 2K and Madden, because I can't do the rest of that stuff. But when I do, I can help. It means that I'm never too old to learn from y'all.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
What was your toughest day when you was like that? What was your toughest? 2 questions actually. What was your toughest day when you was like that?
My toughest day is when my first appeal got denied. Because
You're the most optimistic.
I'm optimistic, but let me tell you a little bit. I had to go through 3 courts to win the appeal. Went through the Michigan Court of Appeals, the Michigan Supreme Court, and I finally won in the Michigan Eastern District Federal Court of Michigan. So even though I felt like I had these strong arguments, I got that letter. Let me break it down just so y'all can understand. So I'll give y'all a visual. The only mail that you get in prison that's not open pre-advanced is legal mail. You have to go to where it's called Control Center, and they have to open this mail in front of you. And so it was like, Frazier, 248-294, that's my number. I know it by heart. I never forget it. You never forget that number. I don't care how old you get. It was like, Frazier, 248-294, go to Control Center, you got legal mail. I'm like, okay, go ahead, been waiting like 18 months for a response from the courts. Went up there, and they opened it, and they can't read it because it's a violation of the law. They read your mail, illegal mail. So they just took it out, made sure no contraband was in it, gave it to me. As I'm walking back, I'm reading it, boom, denied. I mean, my heart went in my shoe. Because now it's like, okay, I've been denied this court. I know it's another process to go, but whoa, we're getting closer and closer to me being here, but being denied. So that very first denial was my roughest day in prison, because I had to go tell my mother, call my mother, my father, we got denied. And that was just, told my grandfather, we got denied.
How long have you been in?
At this time, I think I had been in, June of 95 until, I think it's had to be like, April of 97. So almost 2 years of just fighting. Because the way the appeal courts work, you file your brief, your appeal, you just sit back and wait. You do all this research, you have a time limit to do it, but you try to put forth the best arguments why you should get another trial. And I mean, you may feel confident about it, your lawyer may feel confident about that appeal, but a court can say no. And then really don't give you no reason why. You'd be like, what? So yeah, that very first one was a crusher. Because we was, like I said, I'm getting optimistic. Got my mother praying, great aunts praying, oh, you're gonna be okay. Then you get that, what we call it, a shot down. Man, it's heartbreaking. So that would be my hardest answer.
Second question was, what was the turning point? Like, what was the point, that you said, you know what, I'm going to shift my energy, and I want to have a positive outcome come out of all of it. What was your shift?
My shifting point after doing about 6 or 7 years. I remember laying on my bunk like, this can't be life, man. This can't be life. And I was constantly in touch with my family members, cousins, and stuff like that while I was in prison. Because I was fortunate, my mother still worked for General Motors. So I was one of those ones that can go use the phone and run her bill up $600-700. She always sent me pictures. She would make sure that she would collect letters from people. If they didn't mail them out themselves, she would collect them and just mail them herself. So I was just sitting on my bunk one day, and I'm like, this can't be life. But by the time I had my second appeal had got denied, and I'm like, man, this can't be life. So what can I do? You know, and I just started becoming more spiritual, not necessarily religious, but more spiritual. And just started. By the time I started reading a lot more, I think over the whole time I was incarcerated, I know I read over 1,500 books. You know, just started working out more. I mean, y'all saw one of the pictures. I was looking like the brother Zeus. Where you at? You know, I had a little size to me, you know. I did, but just started doing things to where I can bring some positive energy into my life. And this was taking a toll on my mother because, like, I had this right here. I actually have this whole video in here, the interview, and my mother speaking in it too. And my mother in the video, she pretty much being pessimistic about what's going on in the process, because she don't know, you know. And as time is going on, it's getting leery and leerier, you know, because I'm being denied. And so I just wanted to bring a new energy to my family and give them hope and to let them know, no, I'm coming home. But let me transform myself from this one person to the next. I mean, I always tell people all the time is that I didn't really change who I was, I improved it. I mean, because the person that I was, I believe I did have some good qualities. You know, because I come from a two-parent household. I mean, we had different examples of what to do and what not to do. So I just took that old self of myself and just improved it. Because, I mean, to be honest with you, for one, when you gangbang in the streets, you can't have no fear. I ain't want to lose that. You know, somebody might roll up with me and my wife. I don't want to let them coward, you know, so I have to, that's the type of stuff I kept. You know, being able to work and have this ambition, this hustle, not illegally, but legally now. So I just improved myself. But yeah, that's when I decided, you know, after dealing with some of the most adversity, let me change my energy. Let me change myself to where I can put some positive energy out there and then receive it. And that's exactly what happened. Yes, sir, my brother.
Speak on how that affected your family. Just you being incarcerated affected more than just you.
Okay.
A lot of times we feel like, yo, this just happened to me and nobody else has to deal with this, but just speak on that.
I would say for one, my mother, because I'm the oldest of five. Okay, I'm the oldest, then you got my brother, Aaron, then I got my stepbrother, really the oldest of four, but my stepbrother's my brother, Roderick, then I got two sisters. And when I became incarcerated, my mother shifted her parenting. All right, she shifted her parenting on how she raised her children to where she became not more disciplined, but more relaxed. Because she felt like, well, okay, Corey went in the streets and did all kinds of stuff with me being very real strict. Let me loosen up and y'all can just do this in the house. So it shifted her parenting to where it didn't have the best effect on some of my brothers and sisters. That's one that affected that. It affected the fact that when I got incarcerated, my baby sister was, what was her created? She was 8. She was 8 when I got locked up. My baby sister was 8 and my other sister was 10. And then my brothers were 13 and I was 17. So over the course of these years, I wasn't there for them. Like even me and my sister kind of got into it about a couple months ago, and she threw that in my face, like, we got into it about her previous relationships. And then she threw in my face, well, you wasn't there for us. You know, I'm like, okay, I get that. You know, I didn't want to go through this, but this is another effect that you're talking about, where they wanted that big brother to be there to check their boyfriends or be there, you know, because throughout the course of me being incarcerated, my mother passed. My father passed. My grandfather passed. Throughout this whole course while I was incarcerated, so they looked at, my brothers and sisters looked to me for guidance, but I wasn't there. You know, my father passed from high blood pressure, something preventable. My mother developed adrenal cancer, something that they had never really heard of before. And when she got diagnosed, she died, 4 months later after she got diagnosed? I think it was 4 months later. And I went to these funerals from prison. And my grandfather, he had a stroke that he never recovered from. He ended up passing like 80. But these are our influences that they didn't have no more, so they was looking to me. And I can only do so much over a 15-minute call. You know, or even from a letter, they need that example. So my sister was, and I'm gonna put it out there, she was in a very abusive relationship. And you know, women how women be, you know, I still love him and stuff like that. But they needed somebody to come through and boom, boom, put this down, don't put your hands on my sister, to make that example. Not necessarily to be physical, but a presence there, and she didn't have that. So this is how it affected her relationship. I mean, we cool now, but I understand they do have some of these things that goes on because I was
Underlying stuff that
Yeah,
never go
exactly.
away.
Yeah.
Exactly. With me being the oldest, also too with my father. I mean, he felt. And when I speak of my father, I'm speaking of my stepfather. This was the man that was in my life from the age of 5 to 30. He died when I was 30 years old. So I give this man all the credit in the world for raising me. You know, my biological father, I knew him, but he was nothing like my stepfather. So if y'all got stepfathers that's there, appreciate that man. Because mine did a lot. And with my stepfather, he felt like he didn't do the right things. He could have did more. You know, like taking me out with him to work more or been more active with my sports life and stuff like that. So when I became incarcerated, you know, it brought him down a little bit. You know, especially my mother. I mean, you know, my mother just took it the hardest. You know, she just felt like she did an overwhelming poor job because she always felt like she had to work. So she was gone, like she worked second shift. So pretty much throughout that day, I did whatever because she was at work. You know, so this is how it affected the relationships with my family and stuff like that while I was incarcerated. I mean, it didn't have the best effect whatsoever.
So y'all, I'm sorry, but y'all see how we just talked about that. I just talked about family. I just talked about responsibility to your parents and your siblings, being the oldest and stuff like that. And then he just come in and just reiterate every single thing that I just talked to y'all about. Even the stepfather, even
Wow.
being responsible to your stepfather. We talked about all of that while you was just out here. And then when you come in and you say that, it just bring it all. I hope it makes sense to y'all. I hope y'all see it.
I mean, they say the truth is one.
Every time, it don't never change. Don't never
It's
change.
one. I don't care where it comes from, as long as we interchange with each other. You know, I mean, we experience a lot as well. But one thing I can always just reiterate to you, brothers, is just keep your head up, man. Don't fall for the okie doke. Don't fall for the banana in the tail. You know, because them traps are out there. I mean, like this here, this may be small, but it's mighty.
Mm-hmm.
This is. I mean, we living up out here today, a force to be reckoned with. A force on this society, like, hey, I don't care what wall you're gonna put there, I'm tearing it down. I'm tearing it down, I don't care if you got another one behind it, I'm going through it. You get what I'm saying? I mean, because when I was coming up, my influence was the drug dealers. It was. We didn't have a lot of positive influential people that were, even one that had made mistakes, but they was out there trying to teach the younger guys. We didn't have that. You know, we had the drug dealers, and especially in the 80s. You could be 18 and living like a millionaire, and went on to start a business, open up a chain of stores, and never went to prison behind it. So these were my outcomes, but just understand what you got going on today. I'm gonna say this in my closing, man. I just want to once again thank y'all for allowing me this opportunity. I mean, this is an honor and a privilege, and you know, man, I love it. I can do this anytime.
Hey,
You know.
y'all clap. So from the Ernest Ross Youth Mentoring Program, man, we just want to present you $250.
Wow.
Man. Appreciate you coming out.
Wow.
Y'all appreciate that.
Great.
Listen, for y'all young guys, I want to say if y'all want to reach out to me, you can find me on Instagram at cphrase17 inspires the blog. Also Facebook, I got all of them. You know, you can just reach out to me if y'all need any guys. I'm developing my web page right now. I was working on it all last night. Just if y'all want to talk, you know, about different things, you need somebody to, you know, help you get through something, I'm always available.
If you put your IG right here,
Okay.
I'll definitely go follow.
All right, bet. I also got little cards, business cards I can give y'all too. My email in case y'all want to get in touch. Like I said, I'm here. I'm part of the community, man, and I'm not going nowhere.
Yeah.
But thank you. I appreciate that, man.
Hey, clap it up for y'all. Alright, so you know, at the end of each section, right? At the end of each section, we always hit you with, you know, like, what was your biggest takeaway? Because I want to make sure that you're absorbing the information, right? So what was your biggest takeaway from what C. Phrase just talked about?
There's a life missing. Real quick.
Like, kind of funny, you was talking about, you know, how you went to, you know what I'm saying? I mean, all of it, it's the same thing, man. It's the same thing. How you went, left school and went with those guys to Kroger, you know, it could change in an instant. I mean, hearing about a kid getting in an accident when they leave school, you know, and they die. And then it's,
Actually, it don't only affect you, it affects people around you.
they don't just affect you.
You need to always stay positive and not stay in the negative zone, not hang around with different people.
I had just seen Tupac. You seen Tupac yet?
I haven't yet.
Right. So and Tupac's mom, when Tupac was locked up at one point, you know, she was like, you know, she was like, your body is locked up, but your mind is. 1,500 books. I ain't read 1,500 books, dog.
That's amazing.
Like, you know
He's
what I'm
still
saying?
read.
1,500 books. 1,500.
You got that luxury time when you're sitting in
No,
there.
he just
so.
read 1,500 books. He's read 1,500 books. Like, that's a lot. Like, because that's knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's knowledge. Like, you can, like, you don't realize how much you can leave the place where you are when you throw your mind into a book. You know, you can be somewhere totally different, you know, because of you.
Consider the consequences of every scenario.
And when I used to do a mentoring program with 12 to 17-year-old boys, right? Like this was a state program with 12 to 17-year-old boys. We used to work with these kids before they did the dumb, stupid stuff. Consequences, something I learned. Consequences don't always have to be negative. Like the word consequence just means the subsequent event. Do you understand that? Consequence just means the subsequent event. Like this action determines this action. So if you keep your room clean for a week, for a month, the consequence is we're going to go to Six Flags. That's a consequence, right? Is that a negative consequence? No, that's a positive consequence. That's something you really want to do. You know what I'm saying? So just understand that consequences don't always have to be negative. Great. Go ahead. Yes, sir? Okay. Anybody else? You have one more thing? Is it?
I was saying, when you was talking about the kid that left school, did you hear about that on the news?
No, I've heard about a lot of incidences like that.
Oh,
Like that's not like one type of incident. You heard about kids leaving school and then getting into an accident. It was 2 kids that just got killed.
You know, one of my, well, it was a couple of my friends that had left school one day, and they was on the highway, and I guess somebody didn't know how to drive or something, but anyway, one car hit the other car and the car flipped over, and one of my friends hit his head on the window and he died instantly. The other one got a concussion and he got like a scar right here, and then the other one is paralyzed because he broke his arm.
Consequence. Life-changing. Yes, sir. I think we're about 5 minutes from. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna.
Hold on.
We're gonna wash hands. The bathroom is right here. Bathroom is right here. We're gonna wash hands and we're gonna get ready to eat. All right. I know y'all ready to do that. I know y'all ready to do that. So let's go ahead and take off. Go ahead and wash hands, and we're gonna come back and pray.